Today I want to talk about what do you do when you are dating somebody and you seem to like them and things are going well, and then you end up Googling them, which I think is a good idea, by the way. It's good to kind of do a bit of a background check on people because, again, when you're dating people, one thing we always forget, and me including myself, is that you don't know anything about this person. You are just going off of what they're telling you. You're taking the word for it until and unless you learn something different. So it is really important to obviously ask the questions and learn about that person, but also do your due diligence and kind of do a little bit of a background check. So one of my friends, and again, she's probably gonna she's gonna kill me for, I mean, you guys don't know who I'm talking about, so it's okay. So one of my friends, she started dating this guy, and this is kind of how I got this idea in my head. And so again, their chemistry, vibes, it was all going really well. And my friend was obviously asking she wants a little bit of my input, and of course she has other friends who give her input as well. And by the way, I've done this myself. I feel like a lot of us do this in relationships and in dating, is that when you find something out and you want to speak up about it, you tend to kind of avoid it, or you tend to you don't want to confront them because you feel it's a bit awkward. So you kind of let time pass by. And so I've done this so many times, and it has always come back to bite me in my ass. Whenever you feel like something's off, you found some sort of information, you have to confront it. So what happened was she was dating this guy, and then she did a bit of a background search on him, and she found out that he was apparently in the news? No, he was in the news. He had some sort of a lawsuit against him. I don't remember how it came about, but it was on Google. So my friend saw this and she was like, what do I do with this information? And of course, my biggest thing is whenever you're dating, again, when you first start dating somebody, you do not owe shit. And I know this sounds really blatantly, it sounds brutal or rude or whatever the hell you guys want to talk about or mention, but this is the truth. You do not owe shit to the other person. So even though, yes, you have good vibes, good energy, whatever, but if you feel like, oh, I can't say this because, we have such a good vibe, good energy, like it's really just working out, and if I ask this question, it's going to make things worse, or they might not like me anymore, or they might think, oh, I'm just being too much in the situation. Please, I beg of you, stop that thought process, because it's literally gonna get you your ass, your bank account empty when you think like that, because that's what I did. So my biggest advice to her was to ask about it, this thing that you found out, and do it in person. Because what I've realized is a lot of people, they can make up shit on text and create these, you can come up with shit because you have time to think about it. But when you're on the date, everything's going well, and boom, hey, what happened with this lawsuit? I just found it on Google. That's my biggest trick. If you really want to see somebody's honesty, how genuine they really are, ask that question in person. Because they don't, unless they're a really good liar, that's a whole different story. We have to kind of wait out for it. But it's really important to ask these questions in front of the person. Because I feel like a lot of people, firstly, they avoid having these conversations. And then secondly, they do it over text. So you're not really seeing, and then they're just happy with what they heard. Oh yeah, that's okay. I'm so, that's great. Okay, that's amazing. And you change the topic. No. Stay in that uncomfortableness. Be uncomfortable with that person. Because a lot of the times we just want to be comfortable. We just want to be happy. We just want to be relaxed. But no. Call somebody out. Hey, what is this? I found this out. Tell me more about it. Because when you're lying down in your little body with that other person, you don't know who the hell they are. So you have to do the due diligence and ask these questions. So I'm so glad that she listened to me and she went ahead and she asked him the question. I think she would have done it anyways, but maybe I just pushed her to do it a little bit faster. And so what he did was he had a partner. And so all the money that they had, he used that money. Again, I'm sure I'm butchering the story, but it's very similar. He took all of the money, it was about $500K, and he put that towards, I think it was 700 actually. He put that towards his kids' tuition. Basically, he lied, you stole money, He deceived his partner. First of all, it's amazing that he was actually honest about it. And again, I feel like he wouldn't be this honest if she probably asked him on text. And so the fact that he had to be honest, right? I agree that people can change, but again, this probably will sound judgmental. Oh my God, what is this? Get away. But in my worst of worst moments, I wouldn't steal that amount of money to put it towards my kids. I just wouldn't. If you can't afford to go to school, private school, do not put your kids in it. You have to figure out another way. But you cannot take somebody's money, and like that to me is a really big, it's huge. You know, it's not just a little mistake. This is very intentional and very, you know, it's huge. So would I be able to trust somebody like that? It really depends, you know, on a lot of different factors. Like, how is this person talking about it? Does he just feel remorse because he got caught? Or because he genuinely would have come out and said, you know what, guys, I made a big mistake. I really messed up this time. And was he doing it from that perspective, or was he just doing it because he got caught? So trying to understand that about the person is important. But then a lot of different things came up. He apparently said his last ex was a supermodel. It's like a very weird way of saying things, and he kind of was talking about looks, you know. So I feel like when you kind of can see the full picture and try to understand the person, and so she realized this was not the person, this was not her guy. And so what happened was, I don't remember after how long, she met another guy, and this guy was a horse trainer, I believe. And what I also believe in is that the universe, God, tests you. Before you're meant to meet the one, the universe is going to test you. Have you actually learned all of the lessons? Well, not all of the lessons, but the lesson that the universe previously taught you. Instead of what you did in the past, which was be a people pleaser and not ask those difficult questions and not be uncomfortable with the truth and not confront, are you doing things differently now? So what she did, I believe, is asking that question to this guy was a little bit difficult for her. She probably didn't do that in her past, right? So that was her test that she had to overcome in order to meet this amazing guy. And so this amazing horse trainer, she's been on a couple of dates with him, and she really she gets good vibes. And one thing she asked me, which was super interesting, is like, how soon do you know, how does attraction work, you know? And I again feel like we have been fed the wrong information. With attraction, it doesn't have to be straight away. Sometimes it really depends on how that person treats you, how they make you feel, how they listen to you, how they remember the things that you say to them. Of course, you should still want that, you know, you want to kiss them, you want to, you know, do things with them. Of course, that should be a thing, but it doesn't have to be straight away. Sometimes it's built, and as I mentioned, I'm probably more of a, like, I don't really, I mean, of course, if somebody looks good, they look good, right? But I more kind of see those, like, those things are not important to me. I more kind of see our personality, our values, do those things match? That to me is more attractive than like how tall you are. If you can make me laugh, and if you're kind of just, you know, you have good vibes, good energy, you don't care what people think, that to me is attractive. Of course, apart from values and all the other things. So what I'm saying is, like, it doesn't have to always be with, to do with, oh, you know, your teeth or your hair. Like, that to me is like secondary. It doesn't really matter sometimes. And I know some man in the comments is gonna be like, that is a bunch of BS. That is not true. Well, that's okay. You can think that. So anyways, my whole point of this video is just to share with you guys that sometimes before you meet the one, you're gonna go through some tests. And so that's why I always mention to you guys, always know what you have done wrong in the past. It's not because, you know, I want to make you feel shit about it. It's really for you to be aware of it, because the universe is trying to raise your consciousness. So the more that you keep repeating those old mistakes, old patterns over and over again, the more you're going to remain stuck. So that is why when you start dating, know what have you done in the past? What are some of the wrongs? How can you improve yourself? Are you maybe not a good listener? Are you not emotionally intelligent? Are you not aware? What are some of the things that you need to work on? So this is just a big sign for you guys. If you feel like something is off, or if you found some sort of information about that woman, please don't hesitate to call it the fuck out. Say it, speak up. Don't just think it's gonna wither away into, thin air. It's not. It's really just gonna come back to bite you in the ass. Maybe not now, but 10 years down the line, when you've built a home and built a family and kids, that is when it's gonna bite you in the ass. And that is the worst type of pain, when you have everything, you have a beautiful home, the foundation, but now because you missed a couple of things at the very beginning, you have to start all over again, or you have to break that house and then do it all over again. So if you guys have any specific questions or something that you're like, I really need the answers to this, I do offer free coaching so it's going to be recorded. You're going to be on audio. Actually, I've started a couple, it's very exciting. I love doing these, and I'm going to be posting them very soon, so stay tuned for that. But you're going to be on audio, I'm going to be on video, and we're not going to mention any names. And I feel like a lot of men that are in your shoes would also get some help. So I think it's beneficial to all. If you are interested, there's going to be a form to fill out. It's going to be somewhere on the screen or in the description box below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys on the next one.